Revision of the four rules with decimals. Let's do this problem here, 3.8 plus 10.42. So when we write this out, we want to make sure that they line up in the correct position. So that is to say, tens in the tens column, ones in the ones column, tenths in the right spot, and hundredths in the right spot if there are any. So here, 3.80 is the same number as 3.8. You could put another 0 here, another 0 here if you wanted to. It doesn't make the value any larger or smaller. It'll make it perhaps a little easier to perform this addition. So let's start from the right. 0 plus 2 is 2. 8 plus 4 is 12. So we write down the 2 and we carry the 1. The decimals are perfectly lined up and they don't go anywhere. So we keep that decimal right there. 3 plus 0 is 3, and the 1 gives us 4, and 1 plus 0 is 1. So 3.8 plus 10.42 gives us 14.22. Subtraction, we'll do the same thing, make sure that it's lined up nicely. So 18.2 minus 0.36. Okay, and we can do the same thing here, putting a 0 there so that it looks nice, everything's lined up. Now 0 minus 6, obviously we cannot take 6 away from 0, so we'll need to take from the next column over. So we will cross this off and it becomes a large 1, and we took 1 away, so that makes this 10. So 10 minus 6 equals 4. 1 minus 3, we can't do that, so now we have to go over here and take from the 8, so this becomes a 7. And the 1 comes over here, and that gives us 11. 11 minus 3 is 8. The decimal stays in the same position. 7 minus 0 is 7. And 1 minus 0, there's nothing here, is 1. So 18.2 minus 0.36 gives us 17.84. Now let's multiply. 8.2 times 3.7. So 7 times 2 is 14. We'll write down the 4 and carry the 1. 7 times 8 is 56, plus 1, that's 57. Starting our next row, so we put a 0. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 8 is 24. Now we're going to add these two numbers. 4 plus 0 is 4. 7 plus 6 is 13, so we write the 3, carry the 1. 5 plus 4 is 9, plus the 1 gives us 10, so we'll write 0 and carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. So we have 3, 0, 3, 4. However, there are decimals here. So what we do is count how many positions of decimals do we have. There's 1 here and another 1 here, so that's 2. So we'll start from here and move in 2 spots. The decimal will go right there. So 8.2 times 3.7 gives us 30.34. Finally, division. We'll set this up and I'll erase to show you what to do, but I'm just going to write it like this. 1.56 divided by 0.3, if we do long division, would look like this. However, it's pretty difficult to figure out how many times 0.3 goes into 1, and this will get messy pretty quick. So if this is a whole number here or a value greater, just a whole number, let's go with a whole number, this will be easier. So to make 0.3 a whole number, I can multiply it by 10. And that would move my decimal place over here. 0.3 times 10 gives me 3. And then to keep this equation the same, which will give us the correct result, I'll need to also multiply this by 10. Okay, so what that means is 15.6 divided by 3 will give the same answer as 1.56 divided by 0.3, right? So both of these values have been multiplied by 10. So now we can rewrite our division as this, which will make it a lot easier. So 3 goes into 1 no time, so we don't write any value in this column. Now we look at how many times does 3 go into 15? 5 times. So we put the 5 here. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 minus 15 is 0. And we bring down the 6. This decimal, we have to keep it. Okay, put it in the correct spot. Make sure this is nice and lined up. How many times does 3 go into 6? 2 times. 3 times 2 is indeed 6. So 6 minus 6 gives us 0. So there's no remainder. And now 15.6 divided by 3 gives us 5.2, or 1.56 divided by 0.3, which was the original question, also gives us the answer 5.2.